What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight Season 15 Reunion Part 2. Y'all, I am so sick of these people. I am so sick of looking and listening at these people. Every single last one of them. The only people that I can barely stomach is Stasha and Nate. And they have a whole lot of issues as well, but I can tolerate them a little bit better than everybody. I cannot stand these people. And I've never had a situation where I disliked the entire cast. So, Alexis and Justin, this is where we got started with this episode. Justin said that Alexa came onto him in the middle of the night. He said that she had left some club. She was drunk. She came to his apartment. She was trying to buzz. She wanted him to buzz her up. I don't know if he did or if he didn't. The girl denied it. She says she never did. That never happened. That's another thing. How can we even get anywhere if we can't even agree on history, on what the hell happened? So she denied that it ever happened. Justin then called her a compulsive liar. Justin said that Alexis was never there for love or marriage. She wasn't on the show for love or marriage. She was just there for whatever reason. Alexis said that she was there for love and she was there for marriage because she said that she jumped over every hurdle that came her way. She says that she wasn't attracted to him in the beginning, but she got over that. She had an issue with him being so sensitive, but she got over that. So that was her proof to the world that she was in this for the right reasons, because challenges were being thrown at her left and right and she was ducking and dodging just to stay alive. Alexa said that she really craved physical attention. From who? Not from no damn Justin. I must have missed all of that. I must have really missed all of that because from what I saw, Justin was constantly complaining to the fellas that their relationship was not progressing in the physical category. I remember that distinctly. And I don't ever recall her telling the girls, that she was really craving physical attention from Justin and she needed Justin and wanted Justin and he just wasn't giving in. I don't remember that at all. I have no idea what happened. I must have fallen asleep during those scenes. So Justin said that the energy wasn't reciprocated. He says that a lot. Whenever Alexis says that, she was trying to be physical with him, she was open to being physical with him, he comes back with the energy was never reciprocated. And my interpretation of that is he means that he could tell he was feeding off her energy and her energy was not giving. I want you. I need you. I'm attracted to you. And so because he wasn't seeing that in her, he wasn't going to go like full force on her. Justin says, he could tell that she wasn't into him when they came back from the honeymoon. That's exactly what I've been saying since day one, that everything between them changed when they came back from Cancun. Not Cancun, wherever the hell they were. When they came back from Mexico, things between them had completely changed because Justin himself had completely changed. He was not the same because when they were in Mexico on their honeymoon, he was happy-go-lucky, he was charming, he was funny, he was engaging. When they came back from that damn honeymoon, it was like the soul was sucked out of him. He was acting like an automaton. He just was not himself. He had no personality, he had no drive, he had no motivation. He was crying all the time. Justin says that a man knows when a woman wants him and Alexa didn't want him. Exactly. We all saw that. So why in the world is Kevin Frazier, who I love and adore, I'm going to talk a lot of crap about Kevin Frazier, but I really do love and adore Kevin Frazier. I think he's an excellent host for the show. But Kevin Frazier, Dr. Pepper, Pastor Cal, all of them were trying to encourage Alexis and Justin to make it work. And there's still something there. And y'all didn't try hard enough. Why are y'all pushing this toxic relationship? These people are not good for each other at all, point blank, period. I have no idea why anybody would encourage Justin and Alexa to stay together. Justin believes Alexa was just performing for the camera. So I guess at times when she was, talking about, how much she wanted him and desired him, he said that she only did it on camera. And after that, it wasn't like that. When the cameras were off and the crew was gone, all that passion and attraction, according to Justin, just wasn't there anymore. I never really saw it on camera. I don't even really remember Alexa Alexis coming on to him that hard. Like, I really don't remember that. Then their siblings come out. Justin's brother and Alexis's sister comes out. The brother said that he didn't think Justin was ready for marriage, period. And the brother was right. But Justin kept on fighting him on that because Justin thought he knew everything. The brother said that he did not agree on Justin giving up Maya, because he was like, that dog was really important to him. That was a part of his family. That dog was everything to him. And so he really didn't agree with Justin giving up his dog. Justin said, the brother continued on to say that the reason why he didn't agree for Justin to give up Maya was because he said Justin would have resented Alexis for the decision that he himself had made. It was Justin's choice. At the end of the day, it was his choice to give up his dog, for sure, no doubt about it. But from the way Justin presented it to us, it was to save his marriage. And so it was kind of like Alexis was giving him an ultimatum, like it's either me or the dog. That's how he presented it. And that's kind of like how she presented it as well, because she wasn't going to give up her dog. They had to live together, and she didn't want his dog anywhere near her dog. So what else could he have done if he wanted to continue to live with her? I have no idea. It was his decision to give up his dog, because he could have said, okay, me and my dog are both leaving, because Alexis wasn't going to stay in that house with Maya. So I don't understand. Yes, it was his choice, but I don't like, y'all kind of forget on how much of an influence Alexis has on him. Justin admitted he did resent her. He did come to resent her for him giving up his dog, because he gave up his dog and she didn't give a damn. She didn't care about him. She didn't care about the fact that he gave up the dog. She wasn't changing in any kind of way. Their relationship was not getting any better. It was getting worse. So he was like, damn, I gave up my dog and I'm still miserable. Alexis was upset that Justin did not warn him about Maya's history. So Alexis was saying that, hey, y'all, look, what pissed me off wasn't the fact that Maya bit her dog. That wasn't what bothered her. What bothered her was that Justin never told her that Maya had a violent history, or that she had a history of attacking other animals. Now, the brother had said that Maya had never attacked that wasn't part of Maya's history, that Maya had never attacked any other dog. That's what the brother had said. I think Justin had said that there was history with Maya, that she was aggressive with other dogs. I don't remember like exactly what he meant by that. If he meant like aggressive, like she was out there biting other dogs, or just, aggressive in other ways, like barking and growling and being very territorial. I don't know. But I remember Justin saying that Maya did have like an aggressive history. But the good news, if nothing good happened after all of this, the one good thing that did happen was that he got his dog back. Justin and Maya are happily reunited. Justin says that he's not dating anyone. He's needing time to heal. I agree. And Alexis, she says she's open to talking to him again. She's not going to burn that bridge. She's okay with them being friends, communicating, whatever. Then comes the two most boring segments of the whole entire show, when Kevin Frazier talks to the women alone, and then he talks to the men alone. So tedious. So the only thing that... I don't even know what the hell to talk about with the women, because those women, when the women get to, oh my God, it was hard for me. It really was hard. Alexis said that Morgan had come to her wanting information on what Ben was telling Justin. It wasn't like Alexis was just volunteering information to Morgan, just to upset her, or just to, try to sabotage their marriage. She wasn't going to say anything at all, according to Alexis. She had no intentions of telling Morgan. It was just that Morgan was like practically begging Alexis to give her the information. Like, do you know of Ben talking to Justin? What did Ben tell Justin? And so she felt like she was looking out for her girl. Okay, I gotta look out for my girl. And she decided to tell Morgan everything that Ben had told Justin. Morgan said that she was very thankful that Alexis told her about Ben. But look, by that time, when Morgan had found out that Ben was still talking behind her back to Justin, I feel like Morgan by that time had already checked out, because, they were already having, their one-on-one issues. Or their main issue wasn't Ben talking to Justin. Their main issue was Ben telling her that he didn't believe she was a nurse and all this other stuff. So I think by that time she had already, but like, who cares? The most interesting thing to me about Morgan is her tattoo. I think her tattoo is just fabulous. I love her tattoo. That's the only thing that I want to look at. When she's talking, I'm not even paying attention to what she's saying. I'm just like focused on her tattoo. They were really hard on Mitch. He was the most hated person. The women hated Mitch. And what I think is so funny is that Kristen likes him. Not likes him a whole lot, but the women hated him. And I'm pretty sure that had a lot to do with Kristen, all the stuff that she had told, that she would tell them about Mitch. And Mitch, this was not his group. This was not his woman. This was not his group. This was not his show. Because I think the real culprits are Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal, or whoever the hell was in charge of picking this cast. He was too extreme for this. And it's like having an extreme conservative or an extreme liberal or an extreme vegan. Those types of people, you got to leave them alone in their own little world. You can't bring them out to play with others. It's just not going to work, because they're not going to bend. They're not going to be open-minded. And the other people are not going to know exactly how to treat them, how to handle them. They should not have been on this show. And as extreme as Mitch is, I know that the experts or the producers, whoever's in charge, they knew how he was, and they still cast him on the show. It was just too much. They cannot have a person like that on this show. Mitch is fine. Mitch does not need to be married right now. Mitch does not need to be on any kind of show. Like, Mitch just needs to go out there do whatever he's doing, his conservatism, conserving the earth, or whatever the hell is going on over there. He needs to stay with that group of people way the hell over there and just be lost in his own world over there. He can't come out and play with others. He just can't do it. Then they move on to Lindy and Miguel. They show a clip of Lindy when she was ranting to her friend about Miguel and telling her friend that Miguel was too controlling. He was controlling her, trying to change who she is. And while they were showing the clip, Lindy says under her breath on stage, she says, "Oh, I don't want to watch this." Why? Because you saw how manipulative you were, Lindy? Why don't you want to watch this? Why are you uncomfortable in watching yourself ranting and raving about your precious, perfect husband, Miguel? Is it because you come off as like a liar, like you're exaggerating, like you're manipulative? She says that she regrets saying those things because Miguel was never controlling, which is exactly what I had been saying. How can you call it controlling when he just wanted her to be a little bit more mature and not be so reactive and so emotional, and try to be a little bit more positive and try to act like an adult when she's around him? So she says, "Oh, he was never controlling." I don't know why I said that. I was just having a bad week and a bad day, and I was so stressed out. Lindy is dangerous. She's a dangerous woman. When she doesn't get what she wants, when she feels like things are not going her way, she's going to come out with the accusations. So, Miguel, please beware. Please be very much aware. She wasn't getting her way. I don't know what was making her upset. I have no idea. I guess, I remember now. She was upset because she was worried about, I guess, him pulling out or pulling out of the experiment, or maybe not saying yes on decision day. That's what got her riled up, that he was kind of showing signs of like distancing himself from her or backing away from her. And so that's what got her upset. And so that's when she was ranting to her friend, and because she ended up getting what she wanted at the end, she's okay now. But at the time, she was willing to throw him under the bus, say things about him that were not true, paint this picture of him that was not accurate, just to get back at him, or just to express how upset she was that she wasn't getting her way with him. She says that outburst that she did tainted their beautiful love story. And all I can say, Lindy, is that that's what you get when you cannot control your emotions. And Miguel has always wanted you to try to control your emotions. You're ranting, you're raving because you're having a tantrum because you didn't get what you want, like a 2-year old. Now you regret acting like that, and now you're backpedaling and taking back what you said, and you want us to believe that you and Miguel have this beautiful love story. Hogwash. Miguel and Lindy are fake as hell. They want to present a certain way, but that's not what it is at all. I don't believe it. Um, they're one of two couples that stay together. It doesn't make any difference to me that they stay together. I don't believe in the Miguel and Lindy story. It's not real. Someone else had said, and it was said throughout the season as well, that Miguel and Lindy just seemed so perfect. They seemed so perfect. So they needed this fight. They needed some type of conflict. They seemed perfect because they were faking the funk. That's why they seemed perfect. For some reason, it was really important to Miguel and Lindy to present themselves as the couple that got it, that had it together, the couple that was perfect and getting along and a beautiful love story, and we don't have any issues, and we're the superstar couple. For some reason, they're really intent on that, but I see right through it. Then they talk about Stasha's level-meter, how she was constantly, telling or asking Nate to gauge how much he loves her, blah, 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 all that nonsense. Alexa says that Stasha elevated Nate. Basically, I guess, made him a better man. So the women on this show were coming off, like they just did nothing wrong. And the men were the ones that had all the issues, that had all the problems. And the women were just, trying to keep these relationships going. The women were perfect in every way. Everything was the man's fault. They talk about Justin's emotions and how he was constantly crying. And Alexa said that to get Justin to stop being emotional, she had to tell him that it lessened her attraction to him. That's how desperate she was in getting this man to stop crying. She said he was crying every day. He was crying every day. And so to get him to stop, she had to let him know, hey, look, if you want some of this good, you're going to have to get it together and stop crying. I guess that's what she was trying to tell us. I don't think it worked, though. Then all the guys come out, and so Kevin talks to the guys alone. Justin says that they all hang out, minus Nate. The only thing that I can say about Justin and Nate, Justin is hella jealous of Nate. He is hella jealous of Nate. He's probably jealous that Nate and Stasha stayed together when him and Alexis didn't. He's probably jealous maybe online. The women love Nate. They don't love him. He has like a plethora of reasons to be jealous of Nate. And it's just pure jealousy. And I just don't understand how you can let that show. You would think that, you would want to be bigger and better than that, than to show that you're jealous of another man because he may be living the life that you wish you had. Justin regretted pillow talking with Alexis because that's what led to the Ben and Morgan breakup. They talked about Justin's emotions. All the men on the show, except for Nate, they all talked about how it's good for a man to cry. You get rid of some of that, it's an emotional release, etc., etc. Nate said that it was stupid or something to cry every day. But Kevin didn't get as deep with the guys as he did with the women. He didn't give them as much time as he did the women. Then the two experts come out, Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper. Mitch wouldn't have said anything about attraction because they talked to Mitch and Ben 2-on-2, and Mitch said that he would not have said anything about not being attracted to her. In this sense, yeah, he should not have said anything about the fact that he was not attracted to Kristen, because what happened later on? They did the deed multiple times. So it doesn't make any sense that you say, oh, I'm not attracted to her, she's not really my type, but then you do the do. So it's kind of like, are you just using her, it's okay to not really be feeling someone in the beginning, but then when you're thrown in a situation where you're with them all the time, feelings can develop and attraction can begin. So yeah, he shouldn't have said nothing because, 2020, hindsight is always 2020. Looking back at it, it's kind of like, yeah, because y'all ended up hooking up anyway. You look kind of crazy saying that. He admits that he is out of touch with reality because he's such an extremist in his beliefs. And he always saw himself as an outcast, and he came off kind of like an outcast in this group. He did not fit with this young, hip, attractive group. He did not fit with them at all. Poor Mitch. Was not the season for him. Kristen admitted that she and Mitch had kissed in the car on decision day when they both said no to one another. And when they said no to one another and then they were walking off, Kristen was all over him. And she was hinting at, them hooking up again. That woman wants Mitch. She wants Mitch. So on decision day, after they said no and they're walking off together, she was trying to grab his hand to hold his hand. I saw that. He relented and he put his arms around her and she put her arms around him. And I heard her say something about, going back to the hotel room and doing the do or whatever. And then here we come to find out that when they got in the car, they were making out in the car. She wants Mitch. She still wants him. And she puts up this front like, oh, I don't need him. I don't want him. I learned my lesson. He's just not the man for me. And I'm better than this. And he can't give me what. Girl, you still want Mitch. You still want him. And that's why you're going so hard with all of this. I don't need him. And I'm not the same Kristen that I was when I was married to him. I'm different now. I'm better now. I'm stronger now. Girl, you still want Mitch. Mitch had issues. He did. There was a lot of fault in Mitch. He's too extreme. He cannot play with others. He had problems, but they all had issues. They all had problems. Was Mitch any better or worse than Ben? Any better or worse than Justin? They all had issues. Then we bring out Alexis and Justin to talk to them again about the same damn things. So Pastor Cal says, I still don't see what was the cause of this breakup. Pastor Cal, where the hell were you the entire season? Were you purposely zoning out on the Alexis and Justin segments? You don't see why they broke up? You see, that kind of makes me question, you, Pastor Cal. I'm kind of worried about you, Pastor Cal, now, because I was riding with you from day one until you said that. You don't see why Alexis and Justin broke up. Was it the fact that they couldn't communicate? Was it the fact that they couldn't have a disagreement effectively? Was it the fact that she kept gaslighting him? Was it the fact that Justin was an emotional wreck from the time that they got back from their honeymoon? Could it have anything to do with the fact that they don't remember, they didn't live the same history. They didn't live the same life, because she says one thing happened, he denied that it happened, and vice versa. What are you talking about, Pastor Cal? These people are very toxic for one another. They don't need to be together at all. This was a bad match. Alexa says that she struggled with his sensitivity and it made her become more maternal. You want to be a wife, you want to be a partner, blah, blah, blah. But whenever he would start boohooing, she felt very maternal with him, like she had to coddle him and take care of him. And she did that on the reunion, on that stage. She did that several times, especially when he got into it with Justin. The only good thing about Justin and Alexis, the only good thing about them is that Alexis knows how to calm him down, because when he would get riled up over Justin, she had a way of kind of reeling him back in. Even during the season, whenever he would get too emotional, too out of control with his emotions, she knew how to reel him back in. That's the only positive thing. If everything else could work out with them, Justin would have a keeper in Alexis, but they're just not good for one another. Justin had asked her to not. Okay, so Alexis was talking about how she felt like she had to change herself to be around him. She couldn't be herself. She says, I would try to joke around with him and he didn't want me making jokes. He literally told me, stop making jokes. And then he was like, that's not how it went down. asked you to stop roasting me in public because there's 2 million people watching this and I didn't want you roasting me in public. That's completely different from he didn't want me to make jokes anymore. See what I'm talking about? How they have different memories, how things went down. Justin had asked her, okay, so he asked her to not roast him in public. Hey, Pastor Cal says that they didn't stay together long enough to make it work. So Pastor Cal's whole thing was, every marriage has problems, but they are all fixable. But it takes time to fix them. And they didn't give it enough time or didn't give it much of a chance to resolve their issues. So people should stay together after 8 weeks. If they've been fighting like cats and dogs for 8 weeks, and Pastor Cal, you're suggesting that they still stay together another 20 years to see if they can make things work. Dr. Pepper said Alexis wanted him to be more of an alpha male and he just couldn't live up to that. That was just like a tiny, tiny part of their issues. Yes, it's true that Alexis wanted a certain type of man that she felt like could protect her, but Alexis is so dominant and she's very much an alpha female, and I guess an alpha female really wants an alpha male because she's tired of being the strong one all the time. She's tired of being the dominant one all the time. She's tired of being the one that always has to take control. So she does want a man to kind of give her a break and kind of take over, once in a while. So I definitely see that, but it's easy, I think, for maybe the average guy to kind of lose that, I don't want to say masculinity, but kind of lose that alphaness when they're with a woman who's so alpha herself. Maybe for some, she needs like a really strong, very, very strong alpha type of guy, like the one who's more dominant than the average man or something. Pastor Cal tells them that honestly, you two quit. Would have stayed if, and then he also said, okay, so he said, y'all just gave up, y'all just quit. I'm like, Pastor Cal, like, why do you want to guilt them into staying together? He said that Justin definitely would have stayed if Alexis was willing to stay as well. Yeah, he probably would have, because he's a simp. He most definitely would have stayed if Alexis wanted to stay. That's kind of like obvious. The experts think that they have a chance to make it work. They don't. Let it go, Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, let it go. The Alexis and Justin story is over. The story is over. Close the book, shut it down. The story is over. Alexis and Justin are not good for one another. Stop encouraging toxic relationships. So if they were, hypothetically speaking, if they were to stay together again, that means that he would have to give up his damn dog again. All the couples come back on stage. They talk about Shirtgate. They talk about how Mitch, how he overreacted with wearing the shirt that all the wives had gotten for their husbands, and how, Mitch was just not willing to play along. And as soon as he showed up at the event and saw that all the husbands were wearing the same thing, he went and he changed, and they really took that to heart. That group took that to heart, that Mitch refused to wear that shirt. I agree that he should have lightened up a little, but Mitch is he's a whole different caliber of a person. And sometimes you're going to have to just accept people for what the hell they are. And if you see that he is reacting in a way that may not be normal over something so trivial like putting on a shirt as like a little joke or a prank or whatever that the wives are trying to put together, and he's just overreacting and giving like a very wrong reaction to that, just don't do it again. Just don't do it again. You cannot convert Mitch to y'all's way of thinking because he's just too far gone. He's just too far gone. It's just not going to happen. So for him to say, I don't believe in buying people things that they normally would not want or normally would not wear or whatever reason, that's just how he is. People always like to say, when someone shows you who they are, believe it the first time. He's just not that way. He's just not that type, I don't know. He's just not that type, y'all. He's just not that type, and that's perfectly okay. Just don't, do it again. But Kevin Frazier brought up a really good point. Kevin Frazier said that, isn't it funny, Mitch, how you didn't want to be forced to wear something that you didn't like, but you practically forced Kristen to look a certain way. Aesthetically, you wanted her to look a certain way. You wanted her to dress a certain way, to her hair a certain way. You were forcing her to look a certain way, just like they wanted you to. You felt like you were forced to wear this shirt. And you can see the wheels turning in his brain. And Mitch came back with, that's different. I don't see how it's similar at all. Those are two completely different scenarios. He said, I forgot what his reason was of why he thought it was two different scenarios. Oh, he says, I wasn't buying her things. I wasn't like buying her clothes or buying her products or whatever, to try to make her look a certain way. So she didn't have to. There wasn't that pressure there for her to put on something that I bought for her. She bought something for me that I just didn't like and I just didn't want to wear. Then they talked about Stasha calling him bitch all the time. And I thought that was a little bit extreme. I thought that was very, very disrespectful. If you don't like the guy, you don't like the guy. You don't have to insult him every single time that you see him, especially since Mitch he wasn't like, can you imagine if Chris was in that type of situation? Chris from Paige and Chris, I forgot what it was. Marriage at First Sight. Was it Atlanta? Was it Atlanta? That very toxic, abusive man, Chris. Can you imagine if another wife, every time they saw him, they called him a bitch? Can you imagine how he would have reacted? But Mitch took it all in stride. He said it did hurt his feelings that every single time, Stasha called him bitch. And I thought that was very disrespectful. I don't think Stasha should have done that. But oh well, she apologized, and then he tried to lighten the mood, and he tried to say something funny because it got real serious and real heavy. And yeah, Stasha, that wasn't a good look. I don't agree with that at all. I didn't think that was funny. Alexis's weekend outings. So they have a conversation about that. The way that it was presented on the show, from what I could remember, Justin made it seem like she wanted to go clubbing on the weekends, every single weekend with her homegirls, like clubbing, bar hopping, whatever. And he wanted her to come home, and he wanted to spend time with her on the weekends. And he was okay if she did it periodically, but he said that she was doing it every single weekend. That's how it was presented to us. And that's why I had the reaction that I did when I did the review for that episode, that I was like, okay, that's a bit much. You're a married woman. You can't be clubbing every single weekend like you're single. And Justin had talked about how all week, they work, they're stressed out during the week, and the weekend is their time to chill, and he wants to chill with his wife, but his wife wants to go out with her friends. Now, Alexa says that all she wanted was just 2 hours for the weekend. I think she said for the weekend. 2 hours out of the weekend to go hang with her friends. Now, that's reasonable. That's absolutely reasonable. You go out for a couple of hours, after work or on a Saturday or whatever, and then you come home and chill with your man for the rest of the weekend. That's absolutely reasonable. So if it was presented that way, I don't think there would have been a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But he made it seem like she wanted to go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday and be out all night. That's how he made it seem like. So I don't know what's true. We're back to Morgan and Ben, and I'm like, oh my God, how much more can Ben apologize? How much more can this man apologize? I can't take it anymore. Stasha questioned the quickness. Okay, so then there was a part where they talked about how on the honeymoon, Stasha had questioned Lindy on how quickly Lindy and Miguel had consummated their marriage. And the reason why Stasha felt like it was really quick was because just a couple of days before, Lindy had said to the women that she was not going to consummate her marriage until her and Miguel had an emotional connection. And like 24 to 48 hours after those words left her lips, she and Miguel had already, done the do. And so that's when Stasha was like, well, did you feel pressured into doing it? Because you just told us, hours ago that you weren't going to do do anything unless you had a deeper connection with them. And now you're telling me that y'all did something. So Stasha was under the impression that maybe Miguel had pressured her. And that's why it happened so quickly. And so Lindy wanted to make it extremely clear that nobody pressured her. She's a grown woman. She has the ability to say yes. She has the ability to say no. And no, she was not pressured. Everything is all good in the hood on that. So my only thing is then, Lindy, don't put boundaries on what you would and wouldn't do and when you're going to do them. Just don't put any boundaries. The boundaries that she put was that we have to have a deeper emotional connection. And it just didn't make any sense that you would have that deep emotional connection in 24 hours or 48 hours after you said that. It doesn't make any sense. So what she should have said, and of course she was saying that to portray herself as being pure and innocent. And I would never, when you just could have been like, hey, it'll happen when it happens. Okay. And I'll keep you abreast of the situation if it happens. If it goes down, I'll make sure to report back to you. Just like that, instead of, oh, we have to have a deep emotional connection before. Girl, please. Then they talked about, once again, they brought up the whole thing of Alexa going out, Justin and Alexa, talking about Alexa going out. Oh, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was brought up. I don't know if the question was, Kevin Frazier had asked Justin something about, do you feel like you should apologize or something like that to Alexa over anything that you would have done, something like that. And Justin said, because I think Kevin Frazier started off by saying that, something about pointing out to Justin what he could have done differently. And I think Justin said, well, she could have done some things differently as well. He was trying to make it look like it's not all me. She contributed to our issues as well. And so then Kevin Frazier was like, well, do you have anything that you would want to apologize for? And I think he was starting to say something about how, about her going out with her friends. Alexa said that she would try to accommodate him. She would try to come up with activities or places or whatever that he would enjoy, that he would want to participate in. She wanted to accommodate him as much as possible on her weekend outings. Then Nate tried to say something, because I think Nate was trying to, he jumps in and he said that Justin presented it to us differently, about how frequently Alexis would be going out and how long she would stay out. But as soon as Nate starts talking, Justin immediately shut him down and was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her, or whatever he said. And so then Justin tries to talk again, and then Nate interrupts. He says something under his breath like, well, you need to start with the truth. You need to start with being honest. So then they start going at it. They're going back and forth. And Stasha tries to tell them, hey, y'all just stop it, quit it, stop. Kevin Frazier steps in and says, well, let's end on a happy note. And I'm like, no, hell no, let's just end it. Let's just end it right here. And that's where I'm ending this review. This season of Married at First Sight, it just left me very much emotionally drained. Justin and Alexis drained me. Absolutely, completely, 1,000% drained me. Lindy and Miguel drained me even more. I was so frustrated with these two couples. Morgan and Ben, thank God they exited early, because I don't know if I could have taken an entire season of Ben constantly apologizing and Morgan constantly putting him through the ringer and making him feel like he was not apologizing enough. They were draining, extremely draining. The only people, Kristen and Mitch, just too much. It was just too, these couples were draining. They were so whiny. They were so, it was just too much. I don't know what else to say. They were so needy, so whiny. They complained so much about one another, gaslighting one another, being completely and utterly fake with us, with themselves, with each other. And I'm referring to Miguel and Lindy. Not knowing what the hell they want. Kristen, knowing that she wants that man, but just too scared to admit it. Too scared to admit it. And I know that with Kristen, she doesn't want to look bad in front of her friends, in front of the other ladies. She doesn't want to look bad because, you know, she's presented this picture of, you know, I'm over Mitch. He wasn't good enough for me. I'm better than this. I'm moving on. I don't want him. I don't need him. But deep down in her heart, she wants that man. She wants that man. I don't know what else to say. I'm so glad it's over. These people got on my last nerve. Absolutely got on my last nerve. And this is the reason why I think I don't watch the after party, because after 2 hours of these very whiny, needy, complaining people, I cannot take another second of anything to do with Married at First Sight. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.